Good afternoon, traders. Let's talk about preserving your capital, and then let's talk about building your wealth. Or maybe we can do them both at the same time. My name is Daniel, and this is the view from my vantage point. I'm going to take a few minutes today to talk about how VantagePoint intermarket analysis software can set you up to not only preserve your capital by helping you understand when it's time to exit a position, but also build your wealth by not only shorting positions, buying puts, or finding different opportunities that are expected to go up if you're not trading to the short side. So we're looking at a chart for Chevron here. This is VantagePoint trading software. This is patented technology, and one of the patents is on the intermarket analysis. So I'm going to pull up the intermarket analysis really quickly for you because I know not everybody has seen that. If I go to my market tree and I bring up Chevron, you can see in Chevron, here are the properties. Here are the intermarkets. So when I say intermarket analysis software, VantagePoint has identified which markets make the price of Chevron go up and which ones make it go down, and to what degree. We're looking at a list of about 25 markets here, everything from the 10-year U.S. Treasury note, diamonds, the energy sector spider, the euro dollar interest rate, gold, some ETFs here, Japanese yen, light sweet crude. The list goes on and on. There's even stocks in here. Here's State Oil. You can see Chevron, the price of Chevron, I should say, is influenced by markets around the world. Not only Chevron's performance, but these other markets. Now, VantagePoint has identified those. So let me show you how that's going to help you, because VantagePoint didn't only identify those markets, it's determined which ones are influencing it the most, which ones are influencing it the least, and to what degree. Now, all of that analysis can generate a forecast that's up to 86% accurate. So when you think about preserving your nest egg, or your hard-earned income, or your retirement, or your trading capital, when you think about it, if you can have a forecast 1 to 3 days in advance that's extremely accurate, you're going to be set up to preserve that money a lot better than you are today. Here's what I mean. If you could see that there's some indicators on this chart, the blue line is the key. That's the indication of the overall trend. And when you look at the relationship of the blue line to the black line, you get the forecast. Because if the blue line is above the black line, VantagePoint is indicating that trend is going to go up. And when the blue line crosses below the black line, VantagePoint is indicating that trend is changing direction and it's going to start going down. The other indicator that's pretty visible is this green line at the bottom. The predicted neural index tells you short-term strength or weakness. When it's up at the top in the 1 position, that's short-term strength. When it's down in the bottom, in the 0 position, that's weakness. So you can see if you were in this position and you were in this long position, you were making money, and I know a lot of you out there are holding Chevron long term. VantagePoint indicated way back at the end of April, beginning of May, this trend was going to start going down. There was no other indication in that except for the fact that VantagePoint's intermarket analysis picked up on that reversal and indicated it long before any lagging moving indicators. Now, the neural index, the green line at the bottom, the fact that it moved down to the 0 position at the same time that crossover happened is key. That's telling you you've got confirmation, you've got weakness in this market. Both indicators are predicting short-term weakness and a downtrend coming. You could have preserved your profit right there. Right there, you cut your ties. You can take your profit if you're profitable. You get out of that position, and if you want to short it or buy puts, there's your opportunity. Since VantagePoint indicated this trend was going to go down, you can see Chevron has gone down dramatically. As a matter of fact, a lot of the energy and basic material sector has gone down 15%. So think about that. If every trade that you've done so far this year could be improved by 15%, you would definitely have preserved a large chunk of your capital and built your wealth instead of giving those profits back to the market. Same thing with COP. I've talked to a lot of people about COP. Same indication, same time frame. May 1st, the blue line went below. The neural index confirmed it. Again, since that prediction, this stock has just kept on going down. It went down 22% since that prediction. Buying puts on this, 5, 10 puts of this, you can see you're up substantially off of that prediction that's extremely accurate. Now, this isn't new. This software has been working at this level of accuracy now for 24 years and providing our customers forecasts that are extremely valuable. Here you go, GGB, blue line below black, neural index down to the 0. Same situation, but a low price stock. We're talking about $3.30 a share. It's in the basic materials sector in VantagePoint, and you could easily, at that share price, I don't know, pick up 10,000 shares, and you can see you're up 47% 7%, about $1.50 per share, where VantagePoint indicated that opportunity very, very quickly. So there's no doubt with this kind of information, you're locking in the profits you've built and you're building that capital. Yamana Gold. Now, I went over Yamana Gold a week ago. Now, this one was already forecasted down, and it's been going down substantially. It was down about 44%. You know, if you shorted that, you can see where there's a lot of profits to be made there. Since then, Yamana Gold has gone down about 10%. In the last 5 trading days, just alone in this stock, you could have made 20 cents per share on something that was, $3.50 a share or so. There's no doubt with this type of predictability, with this type of accuracy, preserving the money you have, holding on to the profits that you've built is going to be a lot easier, and you're going to be a lot more successful at building your account, retiring early, doing the things that you want to do. AK Steel Holdings. Now, this is a great one. This is a great way that you can see VantagePoint is going to help you from getting faked out. There's so many opportunities where you're in a position, you're making money, and you think, you know what? I've got 3 up days here. This trend is over. Sure, I'm up substantially, 38%. About $2 per share on something that was only about $5 per share when you got into that position. You're up 30, 38, 40%. There's 3 up days. There's a little bit of strength coming. Well, the blue line never crossed the black line. And if you check AK Steel today, it's down about 5%. So rather than getting faked out and getting out of that position or potentially going long, by using intermarket analysis, you can see the blue line never crossed. You could have been holding that position, still in a short position, and actually made another 5%. So from 38, 40%, you're talking about, 43, 45%, depending on your entry, just by having better information. Now, not everything's going down. Here's the other key: finding the better opportunities. You want to build your capital, you got to find good opportunities. Starbucks. VantagePoint indicated in May it was going to go up, and it's gone up ever since, almost $7 per share. Same thing with Skechers. Now, this one's incredible because VantagePoint indicated this was going to go up way back in April. You could have been holding that position. This was another opportunity I talked about last week in the blog. If you go back and check it out, you can see Skechers was in there with about a 70% increase. Since then, it's up another 5%. And today, last I looked, I think it's up 15%. So you're up almost 100% in this stock alone, and this was identified using VantagePoint. There's a scanning feature that'll find the fresh crossovers for you, so you don't have to hunt the market and look for something to trade and guess and pick and choose. You're presented with the opportunities that are about to start trending one way or the other. So if you're interested in preserving the money you have, preserving your capital, as I said earlier, and building on that, and generating more income than you are today, it's time for you to get started with VantagePoint.